How you doing? Dan Camaretti. Guys, you saw we're building it. Look what Dan sent me. I see a theme starting here, people. Look at that. That was kind of way cool. It matches up well with my Curtis horse. This is the first one. And Proteus Patrick sent that one. Okay. I think I got a herd of horses here, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay, now what do you do with a herd of horses? You work them. You ride them. Let's talk about some horses. When you're running chainsaws, it is a horse's thing. All right? Now, those of us that get builders, we get bored, don't we? Yeah, you notice. No, I haven't quit smoking yet. I'm on the edge of it. When you quit eating and you exercise and stuff, you got to have something. Okay, I'll put them out of my pocket. Okay. Close. I'm real close to doing it. I'm not going to start it till I know I can finish that quit smoking thing. It's not an issue at this point. I got one vice left. That's it. After that, it's just going to be building chainsaws for everybody. And I love doing that. But I get bored. How many times can you take a stock saw and turn that into a logging saw with great success and not get bored? Especially when you're in the same series. You know how many of these 372s I've done? You never, if I told you, you wouldn't believe me. But I like horsepower. So let's talk about this little bugger. Yep. That's a reed cage from a motocross bike. A youth model. That's all I'll say about it. But it's a proper reed cage, and any of you that ride motocross or got real crazy fast motorcycles with reeds, when they hit, you know what a hit is. Those of you that's never experienced don't know, but you might find out. Here's what I'm trying to do. I want to put reeds in a 372. This is cases. I don't want to do it through the intake. That's a lot of work. There's problems there. I'll tell you what I want to do. I want that air fuel to come out right down here. Now, if you notice, that reed cage is just flawlessly perfect for width. I had an awful time finding the right one. I have to cut. We have a bolt hole here. So I have to cut this area out. I have to build a manifold. I want to come right down in the case with these reeds. Any of you two-stroke guys out there, the gurus, help. I want this to sit at this angle, but down in. It's no big deal to go in there and TIG weld the two pieces together and put the gasket in here. I'm not losing structural integrity. In fact, this area being boxed would be much stronger. Okay, so imagine if this was straight down from here at this level, coming in here, all of a sudden, you know you just got a reed cage in the bottom of a saw where they belong. Okay, so we did that. The carburation for this is going to be unknown. I might be able to get away with a stock carburetor. I might have to run something like a 394 carburetor or something. It may take more. I might do something different. Yeah, this might be a bad example for carburetors here, but I'll tell you something that'd be way cool to look at, and it'd probably be a pain in the butt to run. But let's do some what ifs. You got to break a few eggs some days. Okay. What if you join the throttle shafts and the choke shafts on a pair of carburetors? Of course, without all this stuff in the way here, this tube would be able to move around to the front for their impulse, so that wouldn't be in the way. But you can see, you can line them right up. Right here is where your adjustment screws are for your second carburetor. So when they were lined up, if I can do this in the exact angle, you can get to both sets of adjustment screws. Okay, what if you really got elaborate and went ahead and put extensions on them so they're all right here and encase them? I can do that. Okay, what the way cool thing about that is when these carburetors are at this point to each other like they would be exactly that far apart. They would actually fit inside the plastic, wouldn't they? But they would be right there. They would be down and at an angle, fit inside the plastic. I even might have a chance at getting a throttle cable on that somehow, even if I had to use a longer throttle cable or something. Or build it a special. Man, if you're building this much work, the last thing you got, you can't figure out how to run that throttle, you got a problem. I'll figure that out. I'm not saying this is the way to go. I'm just saying, wouldn't that be way cool? And then I can build the manifold so I can go back to an air horn that accepts an air filter and stays underneath that HD cover that these have. But I know a single carburetor would be way easier to work with. There's no question, even if it had to be bigger. And you're going to say in the comments, because that's what I would say. But what if, obviously this is going to be kind of a play toy. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to see if I can't make this a logging saw. This does make more sense, doesn't it? It really does. Down here. But closer to the cylinder. That makes more sense. You know it does. I know it does. And maybe that's what we'll try. We'll start with one. If I end up with problems, even if I have to go to a smaller carburetor, I might just put two on just to say I did it once. I mean, I know you're going to say, a lot of you are going to say, well, a lot of the older saws had a reed cage. Well, they were a flat square box. They worked on a total different principle. They made a difference, but they didn't hit. I want that hard hit. When you come into a log and you whack it, that thing's going to juice. I don't know what horsepower you would have or torque. Let's just say lots once it was right. Just forget it and say lots. That's what it would be. And if I can make this successful, I want to put this in Buck and Billy's hands and see what he thinks of it. Now, you know I can figure that out. You two-stroke gurus, get in the comments, get writing them, send me emails, tell me what you're thinking. The more people that's got an opinion about, hey, I've tried this, it don't work, forget it, I'm not listening to you. Those of you say, hey, go for it, let's see what happens next. Okay, we haven't blown a saw up on video yet. I might as well do one, hadn't I? Nah, it ain't coming apart. I did figure that out. The head will be up high enough where it's not just going to ring the crank off or something. But I had a heck of a time. You know how many reads I went through trying to find this one? Okay, I think Bucket would have fun with that one. I know that he's a crazy booger. He'd run it. Okay, I'm going to tell you something. You guys kind of wondering. You want to know who Bucket Billy really is. I'll tell you who he is. You know, he spread the word. Be kind to others. Do good deeds for others. Just plain, you know the rhetoric. He says it a lot. He backs it up, too. And you don't see everything in the background. I'm going to tell you who Buckin really is. We talk quite a bit. You don't know a man till you meet him. You want to really know Buckin? Go to Buckin Stock. He'll take time and he'll visit with you about whatever you want to visit with. I was impressed with the man when I met him in Buckin Stock, but he did me a solid. When I had back surgery from my little accident, I was laid up for a while for that. And I was watching him when he had like 4,500. I remember him hitting 5,000. I went down and had back surgery, come home. They told me it was going to take over a year for me to feel human again. Boy, they weren't right. Boy, you get some rods stuck in your back, in your low back, and it's an invasive surgery. They come in from the backside, thankfully, but that's pretty invasive. Well, you can't move around. Christ, I had a heck of a time even getting off the John. And Barb let me set a little chainsaw bench up in the kitchen. I was playing with saws and one thing and another. And I built a couple for local guys. That's way before any of this YouTube stuff. And I says, Bucket says, well, what are you going to do? He reached out to me in the comments, what he did. He reached out. He said, hey, I relate to you, man. And I want to help you through this. And he meant it. He ain't saying it. I'm telling you, this is my point. He's not saying it. He's doing it. He's a doer. He's not a preacher. He reached out. He says, can you do, I said, I don't know how to do all this messaging thing. I said, I'm not very good with phones or computers. I'm just not that guy. He said, I relate to that. He says, well, we'll text. So back and forth, and he got where he'd talk to me in the morning on text. And boy, knowing how busy he was even then, that was probably pretty hard because I sucked at texting, but I did it. And I had some real funny words sometimes that I had to go back and recorrect. So he's keeping me cheered up and keeping me looking at my future. Well, it got right down. Well, we got talking. He says, I want you to build me a saw. Because he knew I was playing at that old workbench in the kitchen. I want you to build me a saw. So we got on through that. I says, okay. I said, I'll build one. And there were some tough times for me back then at that point. So I built him a 371 with a dominant piston. I believe that was the first one. And I sent it to him. He liked it. So we developed a relationship. It's built one building block on top of another. And ain't nothing in this world given to you. You earn it. And he told me, he says, that's how really runs good. I want another one. So we did another one. I'm not as happy with that as the first one. And but I'm going to correct that at some point here. It's a good saw, but it doesn't have the potential I know that it should have had. And it's really the choice of the cylinder. You got to watch what cylinders you use. Some of them you can work with real easy, some you can't. Well, that's just part of life. Bucking the whole time stood by me. And he'd never give you advice. You ask for it. I say, Bucking, I don't know. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do in the future. I said, I'm not sure. I says, does he ask me, you think he'll go back logging? I said, I don't know. I'm not there. I gained a crap load of weight. I don't move around very good. I can't hardly walk. And he says, he said, I've listened to you talk. Maybe you ought to do something on YouTube. He says, I said, nobody's interested in me. He says, that's really up to you. He says, but I'm telling you, he says, you can do it. He says, you're the guy that can talk on YouTube. He says, and people would like seeing what you do. He said, I want to come and visit and port a saw with you. I want to build a saw. I want to learn this stuff too. He's not just talking it. He's walking it. See what I'm saying? This is my point. And so by the time he got to third saw, which was that Mac 850 with them crazy freaking drag pipes on it, things were good. Then he says, I can't recommend to anybody until I know for sure what they're doing. So he started putting my name up, one thing and another. Well, next thing you know, I got 2 subscribers on a YouTube channel. Then I get 4. When I hit 20, I couldn't believe it. I was like, man, this is crazy. I mean, we was getting freaking like 16 views a day, And the whole time, Buckins encouraged me. He wouldn't tell me. I asked, hey, Buckin, what do you think? I want your opinion. He says, and the first thing I had to do was tell him, man, you talk straight to me. I'm a logger. We talk face-to-face straight. That's what we got to do. I ain't no dancing. So he did that. And he told me, he says, you crazy bugger, this and that. He says, you can do this. He says, you know what you're doing. People are going to want to watch it. And if you're willing, he says, they'll come and see you. They'll come and visit. Well, when I met him at Buckenstock, first thing he did, walked right up. How you doing, buddy? And hands me this and walks away. Wedge banger. Now, he knew I liked weight because I could handle it. I'm going to tell you what. Very soon you're going to see this put to work. We have a local farmer that has an ash tree that's got to be tipped over backwards. Yeah, I know. You guys that cut ash, no. That boy, it don't take much to mess up on that, and you got a real problem. Ash will get away from you. I'm going to do it anyway. You know why? Because I'm living. Secret to that life is living it. Bucket knows that secret. You want to get to know him? Go to Buck and Stock. I know him through personal conversations. I got on one of them messenger things where with him where that you can talk to him. You know, you listen to the messages, and that changed the game. But you got to meet the man. You got to go to Buck and Stock. I'm going to tell you right now. Just do it. Do it. Heck with the whole world. It'll be there waiting for you when you get home. Okay? But you need to see in real life what I've seen. And you need to experience that. He's a kind man. But I'm going to tell you what. He'll give you the opportunity. He's teaching you opportunity. If you got a dream and you want to do it, he'll encourage you to follow your dream if you're that guy. Okay? I'm that guy. He led me to this. He created Iron Horse in his own way. Iron Horse was our band name. We kept a couple videos up, so if a club wanted to see what we had on YouTube, they didn't have time to talk to you right then. They did it. That's where Iron Horse came from, is that name, and just happened to, when I put a comment up, because we had a couple videos, Iron Horse name. But Buckin helped create Iron Horse. He gave me opportunity I wouldn't have got without him. Do you know how slow it would have been if I wouldn't have had his blessing? It had been slow. I'd have still done it. But he gave me the encouragement to follow a dream. So when he tells somebody, like he just did on a video I watched this morning, if you really want to follow your heart, you do it. Now, he don't just talk this stuff. He lives it. And Buck, and I'm proud of you, man. I'm going to try to make this here work. I set that read down. Now I don't know where I put it. I'm going to try to make this work. And Buck, and I would really love to see you wick this one up. I got an idea. Once that hits, we had to have an exhaust system first that would support it. I think we got that. I wasn't even going to try this until I had a pipe that would do something. But this will be a game changer in the world of saws. And I'm sure other people's tried it. I haven't never seen it, but I'm sure they've tried it. But I'm going to try it too. But my problem is, I know bikes. I'm going to make this work. Thanks so much for watching. Until next time.